Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a DVD movie review of Beetlejuice, which is obviously the second movie, the sequel to obviously the original Beetlejuice, which was released in was it 88 or 89? Quite a number of years ago. I remember seeing the old original one back in the day when I was younger, and I saw it many times, and I thought it was quite good, quite fun, and very iconic, the original one. And this is the long-awaited sequel. It's taken forever almost to come out. I think there was a lot of calls for it saying, they wanted another Beetlejuice movie, and I think it was supposed to be due out years ago, and then just took ages and ages to come out. And then, and then it was released a few months back. I don't know, July maybe, I think it was, July or August. So a few months ago. Didn't see it at the cinema. I was intended to, but then just didn't get round to it. And then I've just seen it for the first time on DVD. So I think it was excitement. I think I was excited to see it. So the cast is, we've got some cast members from the first one. Wyone Ryder, which is obviously in the first one, and then the iconic Michael Keaton, obviously who played Beetlejuice in the first one, and Wyone Ryder. Was it Catherine O'Hara was in the first one? I can't remember. Wyone Ryder was definitely in the first. Michael Keaton. I think Kevin O'Ryan was in the first. I can't remember. We've got Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, which is a young actor. Willem Dafoe, he wasn't in the first. Also, Danny DeVito is in this as well. So we've got a few old cast and a few new casts as well. So relatively strong cast, I would say. So we've got some young actors there as well. So it's quite a mixture, but I would say fairly relatively strong cast. And basically the story is, or the plot, it's a bit complicated to explain because when I was watching it, I didn't really know what it was actually about. But the character from the first original one, character played by Naomi Ryder, Wyone Ryder. Basically, this is like years after the events of the first one, and she's like haunted. She starts getting haunted by the past and seeing Beetlejuice in her nightmares, and just being, she starts getting haunted by the past of Beetlejuice, and she keeps getting haunted, and she tries to sort of get rid of her past and try and erase it and get rid of the past. She keeps getting haunted by the past. But in the end, and then she's in a couple relationship with someone, and then they're having relationship problems, and then they end up going back to Beetlejuice to try and get a relationship counselling on issues resolved through that. They try and do that, and then her daughter, I was playing Wyone Ryder's daughter. She ends up going with this young guy, and then he's sort of evil, and then he's trying to, his intentions is doing evil things with Wyone Ryder's daughter, and so he's sort of influence her, and then his intentions are doing evil things, and then she realizes what's going on, and then she tries to get Beetlejuice to help her get her daughter back. From the evil, from that evil young guy. It's a bit complicated, and then there's someone else, villainous woman that's coming back from the past, and she's trying to get with Beetlejuice and try and get revenge. Yeah, it's a bit complicated, but you get the general gist of it. So that is the general gist of the story. Now, this is my summary of thoughts. On this occasion, well, it's mainly bad news, or at least in my opinion. I don't think this is as good as the first one, to be honest. I think it's mostly generally bad than good. I mean, I was excited to have another Beetlejuice, but I don't know. I think it was too late for a sequel. 30 or whatever years it was late. I think it was too late to make a sequel. I think the sequel should have, if they were going to make it, come sooner. I think it's just too far gone. I think there's too much bad rather than good in this. I mean, it was good to see him, Michael Keaton back as Beetlejuice, but as I said, I think he's probably too old now to be in films. I think he's past his best. Don't get me wrong, it was good when he's seeing him as Batman again, but I think he's too old now. He's about 73 or something like that. I think he's too old. So I think it's limited to what you can do. I think it's a very, very slow start. It takes ages to get going. You don't really know, apart from Winona Ryder being haunted by the past, you don't really know the general main gist of the story or what's going on. It takes ages to get going. The beginning's very boring, and there's not much really going on. You get sort of like flashes of Beetlejuice here and there, and sort of flashes of the past, but not really that much going on. And it's quite dull and boring at the beginning, and it takes ages to get going. And there's bits and pieces here and there. And then when it starts to get through to the middle, does start to pick up when Beetlejuice comes into it more. And there's bits where Beetlejuice is all right, but then once it cuts away from Beetlejuice and goes back to the main storyline, it's sort of like not really interesting. It's a bit boring, and there's just not really much going on. As I said, there's flashes here and there of just seeing Beetlejuice, but then there's not really much going on. Then it starts to pick up a bit into the story as it gets to the end. It picks up a bit where there's stuff that is actually happening, which is all right, but then it's a bit, stuff happening which is all bit all right, but then it turns out to be not that great. Then towards the end, it just gets absolutely bit ridiculous. It almost turns into a musical, which is just really bizarre and really ridiculous, which I don't really particularly like. As I said, there's bits and pieces that are alright, but too much that are not. So I'd say, more bad than good. So I think, what's good? I mean, it leaves you feeling sort of frustrated because you want it to be good, but then it's just a really big disappointment. Not being as good and really just not, just not that great. You want to like it, but it's just not that great. And I'd say, good and bad, more bad than good. The time's all right. It's quite a good length. I'd say the time's all right. Yeah, strong cast. Storyline's really weak. Pace is very slow. and dull and not very interesting. It's quite uh, boring a lot of times, and not much going on. Yeah, but said strong cast, good time. I'll give them that. Special effects alright. Michael Keaton being back as Beetlejuice, bits and pieces okay, but slow pace.